Well, we at Backchat are fond of calling Len Lye the greatest New Zealand artist of the 20th century. Now, it's a wildly subjective call, of course. Hodgkins and McCann are fairly useful. They, however, have never had a show at the Pompidou in Paris. Len Lye may have died 20 years ago, but a show of his work has just finished at the world's most famous contemporary art museum.
Today, Lye's work is back in Paris, and the French are again giving him a warm welcome. The Pompidou Centre is exhibiting his paintings, sculptures and photographs. They're hosting a month of screenings of his films, and they've published a book about him. Christchurch-born artist Len Lye first came to Paris in 1929 as an excited young filmmaker on an invitation to screen his first film, Tous à Lava. The Pompidou, just reopened after 2 years and 275 million francs of renovation work, is one of the world's top museums of contemporary art.
The purpose of the project was, of course, to show how the importance is important in the history of art, but also, and towards the young public, we hope that the young public will discover a really young artist.
What is interesting for me as a filmmaker about Len Lye is, first of all, his sense of color, his sense of movement, the extraordinary way he composes energy or deal with energy in such a manner that the screen becomes something vibrant, something which is not only flat, but something which is suddenly totally deep or with a lot of power.
Evan Webb, himself a maker of kinetic or moving sculpture, is the technical whiz who looks after Lye's work. He's installed it at 4 international exhibitions.
For me, this is a great venue to show Len's work. It's a centre of kinetic sculpture. The museum was established by Pontus Hilton, who was one of the chief champions of kinetic sculpture. In the collection and outside you can see the works of Jean Tinguely and Nicky de Saint-Phal, wonderful works of kinetic sculpture.
It's great to be at the Pompidou. This is the world's most visited contemporary art museum, 23,000 visitors a day on average, and it's a wonderful opportunity for Len to be shown here.
Despite a spring downpour, the opening of the exhibition was packed, with many artists and filmmakers in the crowd. One of the sponsors of the exhibition was MTV Europe, whose New Zealand-born chief executive is an old Len Lye fan.
I first came across the Len Lye work when I was working for Radio with Pictures in Avalon in New Zealand. We were given the piece that had red buttons and its 5 pennies soundtrack to it, and it was just fantastic. And when I came to work for MTV, I was able to get in contact with the Len Lye Foundation and was able to license all the pieces, which we've run on 85 million households right across Europe. And it's sat next to new material from the Royal College of Art, from stuff from New York that we've commissioned for ourselves, and it's always sat there with a absolutely pristine and still looks as great now as it did the day it was made.
Hayden Chisholm, a New Zealand-born composer now working in Europe and America, came to perform electronic and instrumental music dedicated to Len Lye.
Len Lye's problem has always been that he's been an artist with too many aspects, too many ideas. He makes films, does paintings, does kinetic sculptures, and also he divided his work between a number of different countries. So it's really good when a show brings the work together, and we've also done that in a book which looks at all the various aspects of Len's work, and I think we can see him as a whole, and I think it's fairly clear that he comes out of that as a major artist, and it's really nice to be here in the Pompidou to put that on display.
Now that show's going on to 2 other venues in France, and Lye is featured in another exhibition which just opened in Barcelona.